Hey everyone, I'm Charlie and I'm joined here today by my books, my half-cold coffee, and the lovely Meanjin-based folk artist Georgia Scarlett. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I have a little bit more energy now. I had a bit of a sleep in this morning after a gig last night, but I'm feeling fresh. I'm feeling ready. Yeah.
Amazing. And you know what I'm feeling? I'm feeling really good because you know what I've had on repeat? Your latest single, Bookworm. I am absolutely loving this track. Could you tell us a little bit about the story behind it?
Exactly, yeah, sure. It's been so much fun writing that one. It's one of those songs that came together quite quickly. I had a moment of like, I want to say 30 minutes where I just had some time to myself and I went into another room and went, okay, I'm going to write a song. And it just all came together so quickly, which was just the best feeling. The lyrics were there, the melody was there, and I find the songs that come together that quickly, they're meant to be.
Mm.
It's become a bit of a crowd favorite when I've been performing it live. So I wanted to try and, release it as a single earlier before the album so that people can get what they want.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess lyrically, the song it's full of metaphors. I wanted it to be a little bit more of a fun way to express emotions that aren't necessarily super happy.
Mm.
So hide it with all of these fun book metaphors to deal with our big feelings. So it's all really about taking the pressure off, taking the weight off, and not reading into what everyone else is doing and thinking around you because that's exhausting. Why would we
Mhm.
do that to ourselves? So yeah, it's a fun way of exploring that.
I love that, and I am a sucker for the book metaphors. Absolutely iconic. And sonically, with this track, you're stepping into a bit of a country lane, bit of country vibes. Obsessed. It was working so well for you. Who were your influences, or what were your influences mainly for this track?
It's so interesting when I got asked that question because I feel like when I write, at least when I wrote this album, I wasn't thinking so hard of who was influencing me at the time. I kind of just wrote what felt really natural. And at the beginning, everything felt quite indie folk, indie pop. But then when it came together in the recording studio and with my now live band, I found that I really honed into this country style, which was really interesting. I've played at the Country Eka Music Showdowns in 2022, and that was very much before I started exploring country a little bit more because I never really liked it.
That's
Um,
valid, yeah.
I found so many different country styles. I mean, there's so many different types of country, right?
Mm.
That there are so many that I do really, really love. So I honed into that a little bit more because the country music scene in Brisbane is just wonderful. And yeah, really wanted to do what felt natural to me and what I just really liked the sound of. But I guess more generally, my influences, I've always loved people like Billy Martin, Lisa Mitchell,
Mm.
she's Australian singer-songwriter. Marlon Williams from New Zealand. Again, a different sound. His older stuff was
Yeah.
very bluesy country, and now it's more, I don't know, got indie and like pop thrown into that mix as well. Um, who else would I say? Casey Musgraves, all of those kinds of artists I really love. But I think the best thing to do as an artist is just do what is right for you. I know we always get caught up in this realm of trying to, I don't know, imitate what the artists we really look up to are doing. I think
Yeah.
there's so many artists out there. We need the freshest, newest perspective. Yeah.
Mm. That's such a refreshing way to look at it because I know so many people they're like, yeah, I heard this song and I wanted to make something like that, or I was going out for a vibe like this, but to actually stumble upon it in such a way like that is so refreshing.
If we
Yeah.
all just let ourselves do what our calling is, what chord we want to play in that bridge, it's
Mm.
going to be the most unique to you that it can be. Yeah, and people want to see that. People want to see something new.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of something new, something a bit fresher, the demographics you're performing in with folk and country are notoriously male dominated and male led. How have you felt carving out a space for yourself in live scenes, putting out your singles as a younger female artist in this genre?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I haven't had too many bad experiences with that because I've got a lot of friends that maybe have felt that more. I
Mm.
mean, in my band, I it's half half. I've got two incredible boys in my band. I love them with all my heart, and I've got the lovely Arnie. So it feels very balanced and beautiful in my like band space. When it comes to playing gigs, you do notice how male dominated it is. But I think I haven't felt it too bad because of how many incredible women I've met along my journey. I have my own radio show,
Mm.
and just through that, I've met so many just strong, powerful women in the scene that I'm in, the country folk scene. And it's just been, honestly, incredibly supportive and inspiring. I haven't felt at all that uncomfortable, like unsettling feeling. Because even all of the men that I've worked with in recording, all of my producers have been guys, but they've all been so beautiful,
Mm.
down to earth and very supportive. I've never felt looked down on. So I think I've had a very lucky experience. But I also think that the scene that I'm necessarily, in right now is quite good. Quite good.
Yeah.
All good people. Yeah.
That's fair enough. Because when I was thinking about that, like, because I know I really wanted to speak to you about it, because there's a lot and a lot of men in this scene. I know my dad raised me on a lot of that type of music, especially a lot of like American male country artists. And they're there for a reason. They're like the backbone of our scene. But then also you look at how many kick-ass, amazing Australian women we have. Like we have Casey Chambers leading the scene. There's a lot of newer local acts, Bella McKenzie, Tani Rose, who I know you spoke to the other day. Amazing. So it's really interesting to see how the scene has changed.
Mm. I found with a lot of lineups as well that there's been a good mix of genders, I think,
Yeah.
in the acts that I've played with. I've had a few shows where I've been the only female, on the lineup, but then with my band, I've got Arnie as well, and a lot of the people that then come and support are some really beautiful women. So I don't know, it's felt good, and a lot of the guys that I've surrounded myself with are just beautiful people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way you want to have it. I love that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, I'd love to jump back to Bookworm. This song has actually joined your previous releases as your fourth track out on streaming now. It's exciting. You did mention an album before. I would love to know what else can we expect from you this year and how can we follow along on your journey?
Yeah. Well, this year is going to be one of the biggest years for music from Georgia Scarlett. It's just insane. Even looking forward to it, like right now, I'm like, whoa, let's do this. Basically, at the beginning of 2023, I wrote an album, and I went, my first release as an artist is going to be an album. I did that lovely thing to myself. And when I commit, I commit. Like I make a decision, I'm like, it's happening. Right? And I had so many people telling me like, the album is your first release, why would you do that? Or I suggest you don't do that. Do a few singles, do an EP, do this, do that. And I was just so sick of people telling me what to do. I was like, well, now I'm going to, and I'm going to prove you wrong. I think I'm a little bit stubborn like that.
It's the way you've got to be. I admire that. Yes.
So the album is called Rhythm of Life, and that was my debut single as well. That titles the whole piece itself. And I felt that really encapsulated what it's all about, the movement of life, how things change, the ebb and flow, how we feel sad, happy, this and that, and how we just get through this crazy journey of what life is. So yeah, it was all, that whole album was written at a very vulnerable time of my life. Lots of changes, lots of new people, experiences, and it was very overwhelming. So I thought I'd put it into music and share that as a journey for other people that might go through something similar.
Yeah.
So yeah, I decided on the four singles, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so everybody gets a bit of an idea of what they can expect. And yeah, now that, Bookworm's out, it's onto the album. So you can expect a whole lot of music and some music videos, lots of shows, lots of things.
That's so exciting. Oh my gosh. I remember I was speaking to you and you're like, it's so early in the year, but there's already so much happening. And there is, especially I'm so excited to follow along your journey.
Yeah, I'm gonna need all the support from the community that I can get with this one.
It's fair enough. You'll have it. Trust me. When the world hears Bookworm, you're gonna have everyone.
So excited to have a bit of fun with that one. I think, yeah, people can have some fun.
Absolutely. And in the spirit of Bookworm, I myself am a massive reader. Since the day I knew how to read words, there's always been a book in my hand. I would love to know if you have any book recommendations for us.
Mm. Interesting. So I was always a massive reader, massive reader. Like in year eight, I got the gold card library award because I'd read like 50 or 60 books in the year, like crazy big reader. And then as soon as like the end of high school hit and uni and doing everything, I've been reading a lot less, which sucks, but I'm loving Evie Woods. Just a great author. Some really great novels. The Lost Bookshop, I think is what it's called. I loved that. It's like a little bit of historical fiction, a little bit of like dystopia, like fantasy in there. And I'm reading another one of her books now. I can't remember what it's called. That's really embarrassing. But she's got a few that are just really beautiful. I love a murder mystery, like a crime novel or something about the jury. I love to know more about who's on the jury than like what actually happened. I think that's so interesting.
Yeah.
And a book that's really good for that is The House of Correction. Again, I can't think of the author off the top of my head, but those would have to be a few of my favorite books.
I love that. I will search those up and add those to my list. I am so excited for those.
Yeah, I love a bit of everything. Historical fiction is just so interesting and like can
Yeah.
transport to like a time that you haven't seen and just all the stories and depth to that. And then yeah, murder mysteries, dystopia, bit of this, bit of that.
You gotta love it. And my final question for you today, my favorite question also, is who are your favorite local acts in our Meanjin scene right now? Who's killing it? Who would you love to give a shout out to?
Oh my goodness. Do you know this? How big the question is?
I know, that's why it's my favorite.
Oh, see, I feel like I've got so many answers. I have my own radio show From the Roots on 4ZZZ, and I have an artist on every week. And I have met, like I said earlier, I've met some of the most beautiful people in the music scene. Oh, especially in the folk country scene. It's just, there's so many beautiful people. Let me think. Um, People I've had like supporting me for some of my headliner shows. I've had Malia Sterling, Ella Belfanti, Harry Kidd, Cat Flowers. They're all beautiful. Did an amazing job. Best night ever. Oh, I think a lot of my favorite people aren't, it's not just about the music though, it's about how beautiful in and out that they are. Like I'm thinking of people like Georgia Renee and Georgia Betts, Jess Irvine, Evan Healy, Kaylin Mai, Delilah Rose. She is such a powerful woman. I love her. Let me think. Red Hill Band, they're so fun.
Yes.
So
And their
fun.
EP that just came out, I'm
Yeah,
obsessed.
so fun. Just beautiful people. And then I think an artist that stood out on my show with just some really good music and amazing voice is Freight Train Foxes. They might still be overseas at the moment. They went to the US to do some music, so they're doing things and their music is wonderful. Great duo.
That is Such a list. I'm so excited to get into those. Thank you for
Apologize.
sharing.
So big. Oh, they just make you feel empowered and
Yeah.
supported, loved. It's just, yeah, they're the people that when I see them, I just go, oh, like I feel so warm and happy.
You hear their songs, you're like, I know them, I love them, they're doing great things. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Thank you for making time to have a chat. And everyone, Bookworm is out now on all streaming services. Go listen to Georgia Scarlett. Come out to a show sometime. You'll love it.
Yeah, I'd love to see you there. Make some new friends.
Yes.